Welcome and a complete guide of how to use Claude with Notion. In this video, we'll have a lot of crucial topics, such as 2 ways of using AI in Notion. We'll talk about Notion agents. I'm gonna show you the best use cases for Claude plus Notion that are gonna save you a lot of time and much more. So, as you may know, Notion is a leading productivity app that allows us to store our notes, create databases, tables, pages, connect them. It has a lot of features that make productivity much simpler. And now, if you watch this video to the end, you're gonna improve your game and your usage of this tool, because once again we may have an application which is great for like doing these things. So for example, once again, databases or saving information and so on. However, if you combine it with Claude, it's gonna supercharge your productivity. So make sure once again to watch this video to the end. So to begin with, the first question we are gonna answer: what are the 2 ways of using AI agent with Notion? And the first one is actually by using AI agent built in inside Notion itself. When we create a new page, in the right bottom corner, we've got a chat, an agent, where we are able to chat about our page and create content databases and so on. So let me show you very quickly. Right now, I would like you to create for me, fulfill this entire page about Claude design, and now I would like you to find information about what Claude design is, main features, best use cases, and other information. And please mix for me the structure of the page. So create database, create a table, and also provide headings and just normal text. We can run it. And this agent, also we can control it. So for example, we can use Claude model, which is great. We've got a plus, so we can add images, mention people or others, or we've got different settings, so web search, we've got sources, we can add sources and so on. Also, we can personalize, however, about it in a while. Nevertheless, it's a first way of using AI agent in Notion. So let's wait for the response itself. It's gonna craft a response and it's gonna like work inside our page, which is great. Let's say you have that's why like this video exists, because it's super effective when you have like something to do, and instead of just creating the entire page yourself, you can use either Claude, that I'm gonna show you in a while, or Notion AI agent. It took roughly, I would say, 90 seconds. And we have a page fulfilled, so we've got a note, we've got a heading, how it works, we've got a table, and also we've got a database with already fulfilled information. Just take a look. And now imagine how much time it would take you to just repeat this and create from scratch. Perfect, amazing. So once again, if we had to describe Notion agents, so it's a assistants that live inside Notion, have access to all your files, pages, and databases. They can make edits, create new content, or just read content across your entire workspace. Also, what's really cool, you can personalize this agent. So whether you can click here, or just go ahead to settings and click personalize. And now I can give it a name. So let's say I'm gonna name it as John. I'm gonna give him some nice hat. And also I can add instructions. So let's say I'm gonna give these instructions for Sidekick, and this page defines how this agent should behave. So it works pretty similar as we create agents with custom, we create custom GPTs or any agents across the internet. So we give instructions how it should behave. Additionally, when we go here to personalize, we've got there like different things. Also, we can use existing page. And now we can click done, and this agent's gonna act this way. But how about using Claude with Notion? How we can use this application to interact with Notion to do quite the same things. So when we are inside Claude, whether it's the desktop app or website version, we can click on customize, connectors, and right now we can click on a plus. We can browse connectors and search for Notion. So we can click here, just click on the plus. I already have it installed. And once we do this, Claude can actually use Notion to search, fetch, create pages, update pages, move pages, duplicate pages, create databases, and so on. So we can do quite the same stuff, I would say. So for example, I can start a new chat and say, all right, please create for me a Notion page inside my already existing page, which is documents. And it's going to be all about Claude methods. So find what it is, capabilities, let's say benchmarks, and create for me that page. Yeah, that's it. Thank you. So now I can run it. And what it's gonna do, it's gonna connect to Notion and create a page inside. So literally just manage my entire workspace. Now it's thinking, searching the web for information first, then it will connect to Notion and do all of this stuff. So you're gonna see, let's wait for the response itself. What it does now, it searches for a page called Documents. Okay, the Documents page is found, creating the Claude methods page inside it now. So let's say you're chatting with Claude anytime and you can say, all right, this conversation we had is quite nice. So maybe please create for me a summary of it inside Notion, and you specify, like, let's say the page where you have all your documents from Claude that were created. That's amazing. Also in this video, once again, I'm gonna be showing you like really cool use cases of what you can do with Claude and Notion. Nevertheless, for now, we've got a page already created. It took like 1 minute, I would say, and we have like Claude methods, what it is, capabilities, and all information inside. That's amazing. And of course, right now you may have a question in your mind, right, but what are the differences between like using Notion agents and Claude to connect to Notion to create something? So the first important, I would say very important thing is the subscription. So whenever you use Notion agents with free plan, you've got like some limit of using Notion agent. Also when it comes to personalization. So if you want to use it for, I would say like more for unlimited use, you need to purchase a business subscription that costs $24 per month. And then you can use like Notion advanced features, Notion AI, like you've got everything in the subscription itself. I'm gonna, by the way, put the link in the resources of this material so you can read. But once again, when you use Notion agents, you need to pay for Notion. However, if you want to use Claude and use a connector which is Notion, you only pay for Claude subscription itself. And using Notion here, it's free. So whenever we choose one path of using AI in Notion, we pick between, I would say, picking the Claude subscription or just purchasing Notion subscription and using here agents. Of course, you may have two subscriptions at once. It's up to you. However, majority of you, I would say, would pick either Claude or Notion as a base for using Notion AI itself. But also, we have some other things to talk about. So firstly, we've got training and expertise. Notion Personal Agent is purpose-built to operate Notion. And it's very important because Notion Agent lives inside Notion. However, Claude only connects to Notion. It's a big difference. So when you connect Claude to Notion through the MCP connector instead, Claude is doing the same job, but in his words, and it's not as trained on it. So for Notion native work, writing whole databases, building pages, navigating the workspace structure, the in Notion agent tends to be more reliable. So it's a difference, I would say, because once again, this agent is built inside Notion, however, Claude connects to Notion itself, so it's not like built in. And sometimes you may see that on like maybe doing some more sophisticated work. I haven't like had bad experience with using Claude with Notion. Majority of time it performed really great. Rarely I had a case when it like did something wrong or something was wrong, but still like it's a difference. Token cost. This is the biggest practical point. Driving big Notion jobs through the MCP is going to cost you more tokens. Every database read, every page write goes through Claude's context window and burns credits. Once again, I haven't saw, I would say, like many tokens used for my case. Like this is not something significant. However, it's worth paying attention to token use. So when you do some job, let's say you use Notion for some time on or you perform some task, just check your usage. When you go to Claude, then you go to your profile, you click on settings, then you go to usage, you can see the use for your current session, all models, and so not only. So pay attention to track it and to make sure like you don't run out from your credit really fast. What we have else is usage limits and model choice. So inside Notion, the personal agent lets you pick the model. You can use different models. So here when we go, let's go there. Let's go to our lovely agent with hot, and we can use different models. So GBT, Gemini, Kimi, DeepSeek. So we can use different models, whereas with Claude, we can use only Claude. But here, let's go back. Where is that? Okay, here. So there we have pretty unlimited use at the moment. While with MCP and Claude Plan, we may hit some limits. Next, we have ability to find Notion information. And by the way, this data is also fetched from some user experience. So we have like when the Notion agent ran his planning task, he notes it did a shed load of work that is all very specific to it, being a Notion that I just don't think Claude connecting into it would necessarily be able to find as easily. Then we have features only the Notion agent has. So some things simply don't exist on the Claude site. He specifically mentions database autofills agents as something Claude couldn't do specifically. And lastly, we've got the trade-off the Notion agent makes. So he admits the Notion personal agent is only prompt and response. It can't touch your local files, do cross-tool work, or run the file system-based projects that Claude Cowork can. And regarding Claude Cowork, now let's cover the first major use case for this video. So we've got Cowork that can access our computer files and do something with them. So right now what I'm gonna do is to use psychological books folder. And whenever I go here, let me open this folder very quickly. So inside, I have a lot of PDFs about psychological books, and each book like contains a few hundred pages. So for example, what we have for curious people, we have like Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. We have there like The Myth of Self-Esteem. But now what I want to do with this folder actually is to do the following thing. Let me run the prompt. So right now I gave you an access to my folder with psychological books, and create a page inside documents page in Notion about like the summary for these books. I want to get the main insights from each book and actually the most important information. Okay, so create for me a page that's gonna like give me really comprehensive and the best takeouts from these books. Really vague prompt, whatever, from these books. And I really love it. So with Claude and Notion, you can connect what you have on your device and save it or do something with it like to Notion. Like you can process this thing to Notion, which is huge. Let's say you've got your documents or some important like data, I don't know, you can give it to Claude and it can do like hundreds of different things with it. And then you can follow up with Notion, so creating page or summary or whatever, database. Yeah, so it's very, very cool. But now in the meantime, when this request is processed, so by the way, in the right top corner, we've got a plan. So firstly, find the Notion page, then extract text from these books and create a page. But let's answer a question, because when we are inside Claude Desktop app, we have three different tabs. The first one is chat. So we can talk with Claude models. It's like a chat. We can create artifacts, components, and so on. Then we've got Cowork that has access to our computer and we can like open browser, like do many different things. And we've got Claude Code. So basically we can just run code inside this specific tab. I mean also like with chat and Cowork we can, however it's like specifically for coding. But now there's a question, can we use Notion connector between like across all of these tabs? And the answer is yes. So when we go here to customize, we've got connectors, like we can use Notion across all of these tabs. So let's say if I go here and I go ahead, like I have a new session, I've got a new project for this session. I can go ahead and just say like, please use Notion and create for me a page about how to use, I don't know, like Exalidraw, or how to create a successful Facebook campaign. So the answer is, once again, we can use Notion connector across all of tabs, so chat, Cowork, and code inside Claude. Let's go back to Cowork and let's take a look. So it takes some time to do this thing, because as I said, like all the psychological books have roughly a few hundred pages, so it may take a few minutes. So now our page is live. Let's open this thing. And now what we have is like psychological books master summary. We have a quick overview, so a book, author, method, best for. And we have summary for each book. And now just take a look how sophisticated that is. So what we did, we used Claude to take files from our computer. Then Claude, as an AI agent, made a summary and created for us from scratch a page, and afterwards just connected to Notion to create that page and fulfill, That's perfect. That's great. And now even just take a look how long this thing is. The next use case is about structurizing and adjusting pages that already exist in our Notion. So what I have, for example, I have like a page where I create like all documents with Claude. And now what I can tell to Claude is like, inside Notion, I have a page which is called documents. And here I have some loose pages, okay? I would like you to create for me one page summarizing and actually fetching the most crucial information from them. So it's going to be like a summary and overview of every page I have in this page, which is called documents. Perfect. And we have our results. There are 8 loose pages inside documents. Let me fetch each one to extract the key information. Then I've created a new page inside your documents page. Let's open this link, and yeah, really nice form. All documents actually fetched and summarized. And also we've got like the link to each specific document, which is so cool. Additionally, when we go here, we can see like this file was created below all of my files. Another cool use case is about analyzing and summarizing our forms. So for example, I've got form responses right there. What I did, I downloaded this file, exported this as CSV, and I went to Claude Code and told something like, create a new page inside the documents page. The page will be about conclusions from survey results. I will give you a file in CSV format, and I'd like you to synthesize information and feedback in a concise and structured way. What it did, created this page, and now let's take a look. And we've got TLDR, who responded, course language, what students want to achieve, where students struggle, so webhooks APIs, it's really, I would say, common, complex tab logic, error handling and debugging, for sure. And we have like everything we want from just our single file and from just one request to Claude. That's it. Another cool use case I want to show you is going to be about reflections and thoughts. So I use Notion as my diary. Like I note here everything, regardless of whether it's for work or just my personal use. So what I did is like typed, please search through my Notion for any notes and pages about my reflections and thoughts, create a file inside the documents page in Notion, help me make decisions and find patterns, areas for improvement, plus evaluate my thoughts and notes. And now, for privacy reasons, for sure, I won't be showing the page that was created. However, it's another thing you can do with Claude. And I think like it's a great use case because you can actually summarize and even remind yourself about your goals, about what you struggle with, and other different things. And the last use case for now will be all about building a project plan for launching my email course with deliverables database. Please assign owners, add deadlines for each milestone, and create a kick-off doc with goals and success metrics. And what we have is like this page. So we have email course launch, and then we've got like the timeline, owners roles, and also other files such as deliverables. With this database, like look at this, it's huge, like a lot of data. And additionally, we've got kickoff doc, which is this one. So not only it can create like one page, however, you can nest other pages inside a page you create. Now, at the end of this video, let's go even further. I'm gonna show you how we can use Claude, plus Notion, plus routines, or even scheduled tasks. So right now we can do this inside Cowork, Claude Cowork, so we can actually create a recurring task inside the scheduled tab. Or I'm gonna be using Claude Code. And now also very important thing, if I had to choose one of the spaces where I would like to work with Claude and Notion, I would always choose Code. Maybe not always, like majority of time, because it has access to my computer, my files, and also it can actually code. So like it's much more convenient and has like more use cases, I would say. And it's like very simple because like you can even use it in the desktop app and you don't need to know how to code at all. It's gonna just respond to you as you would just type in chat. But maybe here it's like when I go there, it's like it's gonna be a bit more, I would say, programmatic. I don't know. However, still it's very convenient and easy to read. Whatever. But now we can go ahead to routines and create a new routine that's gonna run every day. And what it's gonna do, it's gonna fetch news from the internet, and every day it's gonna create like a page inside Notion. So first things first, what we can do is to go ahead to Notion and let's create a new page. So I gave a name which is updates-Claude plus Notion. Let's go back to our desktop app and let's give it a name. So daily news extractor. And now let's provide instructions. So what I can do is like either write or I can even use AI to create for me these instructions. However, for now, I would like to do it right now by just talking. By the way, I'm using an application which is Glaido for, just talking and just converting my speech to text. So I'm also gonna be putting the link in the resources of this material so we can use it. It's really nice. So just right now, just look. It's gonna like, yeah, exactly right what I said. But you can save a lot of time. Okay. So I would like you to, every day at 7 a.m., use Claude to fetch for me information and news about AI updates for the day. And now what you should do. You should scrape the information from the internet. This is the step one. Then you should go ahead and create a summary, just organize this information. And afterwards, you should use Notion and search for a page, which is updates-Claude plus Notion. And inside, just create a page every day. In the titles page, always give the date, and make sure the formatting is nice, it's clean, and everything is correct. Let's write these instructions and let's check fetch information, Claude Notion. Okay, let's select a trigger. So a schedule, let's say it's gonna be 7 a.m. We've got 7 connectors, so we have Notion, and now we can create this thing. And let's run it now. So as you can see, the status is active. Next run tomorrow at 7 a.m. We've got connectors. Of course, we could have like disabled like other connectors that are not unnecessary. However, it's fine if you just have them, like it won't use it anyways. So let's run it now and see if everything is correct. So workflow run started. And inside this page, now it should create for me a new page with this page itself. After a few minutes, we have a page, May 25, daily AI updates, and what we have inside, updates for what happened today actually. That's great. And that was everything for this video. I think the last use case, so this one is super cool because like we combined everything together and now you can even create like recurring tasks. Literally, just use Claude, which is a powerful AI agent, use Notion, the best productivity tool, and use like recurring tasks and yeah, just automate your life. Thank you for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next material.